All right, what's up, people? Now, I have to say something. You'll see that there's a tiny piece of red on this video. This is a watch along. It was in my fucking watch later feed and it just autoplayed. So as soon as I knew what it was, I turned it off. So hence the little red thing. But yeah, let's do a watch along of this guy. Inspiring philosophy. That is, it's Mike Jones. Among Christian apologists, I think he's one of the better ones. So, I mean, some other like less intelligent people that are Christian as well, it should maybe start learning from this guy, that maybe he understands your religion better than you do. But evidence, and that's in all caps, Jesus performed miracles. So let's watch it, because I don't know what angle he's going for. He's a very subtle thinker. He's a very intelligent guy.
This absorbs more of your supplements whenever you use patches. It goes directly on your
Gotta
skin.
have the ads,
it
bro.
activates.
There is a general consensus among scholars of early Christianity that Jesus was a miracle worker. Claims of miracles were common in antiquity, but these claims took different forms. Although he disagrees with the consensus, Bart Ehrman says, "So abundantly attested are Jesus' miracle-working abilities that even scholars who are otherwise skeptical of the supernatural biases of our sources sometimes claim that whatever else one can say about him, Jesus was almost certainly a healer and an exorcist."
That's 100% true. I do not discount any of that. He was a healer and an exorcist. Bart Ehrman said that, right? Yeah, 100% agree.
To understand why this is, we need to dive into the data and see what has convinced most scholars. When it is surveyed, you'll see there is strong evidence that it was widely believed that Jesus performed miracles, which should make us wonder who this man really was. Maybe there is more to Jesus than meets the eye.
Okay, I'm going to try to get this cat as far out of the bag as I can quick, because this is a long video and I don't know where this guy's going to go, but I kind of think I know where he's going to go. I'm just going to say, the Superman can fly. You know why? Because there's a lot more books that talk about Superman flying than exist in the Bible. So, it's preponderance of evidence, if you know what I'm saying. And don't tell me yours isn't a comic book. But all in all, I do respect this guy.
When we look at what scholars say, most are convinced Jesus was known as a miracle worker in his lifetime, specifically as a healer and an exorcist.
Agree?
James D.G. Dunn says, "One of the most compelling features of the whole sweep of ancient opinion were..."
But you're going to have to parse those two terms. Because a healer and an exorcist are both working psychology, especially back then. Now, today, to be a healer, you would be called a doctor, and you would basically either give somebody a pill or cut them open and take something out. That's what we do today. Back then, it was different. So you're talking about things like epilepsy and whatnot. And so, yeah, Jesus was considered to be those two things. I agree with that. But I don't think it means what you think it means. I don't think it carries the weight that you think it does.
Regarding Jesus is his reputation as an exorcist and a healer. It is no exaggeration to claim that it is one of the most widely attested and firmly established of the historical facts with which we have to deal.
No, the crucifixion is number one.
Paula Fredrickson said, "Yes, I think
Love
that
that
Jesus
scholar.
probably did perform
Have that book. Have that exact fucking book. Yes, Paula Fredrickson is top tier.
that contemporaries viewed as miracles." E.P. Sanders said, "There is agreement on the basic facts. Jesus performed miracles, drew crowds, and promised the kingdom to sinners."
I think now you're stretching, because you went into it like that, right? Because you said that the historical consensus is that Jesus performed miracles. That's not the historical consensus. The historical consensus is that he was known in his time as a healer and an exorcist. It doesn't mean he performed miracles. You went from A to B really quick without fucking like bridging the gap. But go ahead.
Michael Grant said, "By far the deepest impression Jesus made upon his contemporaries was as an exorcist and a healer." Robert Funk in the Jesus Seminar lists among the basic facts that we know about Jesus that there's little doubt that he was also a charismatic healer, an exorcist, and that he was eventually put to death by the Romans around the year 30 CE. Other scholars have argued this is true as well. Jesus was known in his lifetime as a miracle worker of some sorts. This doesn't mean all...
You ever seen them motherfuckers in India? Seriously. You ever seen them dudes in India that do all the miracles and shit? That be transformed? Dude, there's videos. You can see it. These gurus in India that can do crazy shit. Right? Are they the son of God?
These scholars believe he actually did perform miracles. But the evidence suggests Jesus had a reputation of being able to work miracles. I didn't mean to. If you're shocked by this, you ought to know many of the reasons as to why so many are convinced. First, Jesus' miraculous abilities are multiply attested. They are in the material assigned to the hypothesized Q document, the Gospel of Mark, the extra material in Luke, in Matthew, and John. Additionally...
Yeah, here's the only problem, is that we know that those books all contradict each other at certain points. So you can say multiple attestation for a character, but in some versions, Superman is stronger. In other renditions, after reboots or whatever, he's a little bit weaker. So yeah, I don't know when was the exact year Jesus was born. And don't say it's 0 because there is no year 0. It skipped from 1 BC to 1 AD. There is no year 0. Or is there? Is that when he was really born? Year 0? So it basically harmonizes the disharmonious difference between Matthew and Luke when it comes to the year Jesus was born, anyway.
The Gospels do not merely repeat the same miracles, right? But all have reports not found in the other Gospels.
No idea.
There are roughly 21 healing accounts, 4 additional accounts of exorcisms, 3 accounts of raising of the dead, or near dead, and 9 other miracle stories.
Okay, so what this dude is doing is he's basically using the Bible to prove the Bible. And I think I might just stop this here because I've been going on for too long and this video is long as shit. And so I figure I'll stop it here. Maybe I'll pick it up later. I don't know, man. Because I've heard all these fucking arguments before. And I mean, it's like, oh, well, the Bible confirms the Bible, hence the Bible. And I'm just like, yeah, well, that's kind of circular, buddy. Oh, but these are independent. Because Matthew and Luke were 2 different people. Not named Matthew or Luke. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of them names themselves. Oh, but we have tradition. Yeah, sometimes tradition is wrong. I have a really cool tradition about Superman where, like, originally the motherfucker couldn't even fly. He could just jump really high. Right? You remember that? Yeah, that was the OG Superman. So, like, back in the day, God was like looking for people and couldn't find them. You know what I'm saying? That whole Garden of Eden story, right? It was the Garden of Eden, right? And God was walking around confused as to where Adam and Eve were. Because they were hiding from them motherfuckers. You can hide from God? Whoa, that's the OG God. That's when Superman couldn't fly. That's when God wasn't omniscient. And behold, a man shall become like one of us, knowing the difference between good and evil. Oh, and then you go to the Psalm, and you are God's. And then Jesus quotes that, I think, is it in the Gospel of John? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, it's all fun and games, comic books. We're all having fun here. I really, there is no evidence other than you want the book to prove the book, which, of course, it's going to do because it's the fucking book. what is it? 2 Timothy, I forget. All scripture is inspired of God and useful for reproof, etc., etc. Yeah, I know my shit. That is 2 Timothy. I hope we didn't botch that. It's been a while though. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, I think we're done here for the time being, because I think I know where this is going, and it's just standard apologetics. It's just, let me show you how the Bible proves the Bible.